What up, everybody? It's the Rottweiler Patriots. I'm Vegas.
And I'm T-Bone.
And we're coming at you with another video today where we're going to discuss the Carolina Panthers 2024 draft and our thoughts for the Panthers headed into it. But before we do want to give you a recap on everything that has happened in free agency over the last month since our last video covering it for Carolina. So, T-Bone, I am going to pass this one off to you. Let's hear what you've got to say about your team.
Absolutely, Vegas. So let's break it down. Re-signed first. Tay Davis, of course, for the depth. I think Sam Franklin also was a very underrated safety. And then let's go to Derek Brown. We got him on a long-term deal, and I'm very happy. I think he's a very good defensive tackle. I mean, God, he broke the record for tackles by a defensive tackle. I mean, I think he's really good. I think he works really well in our defense. One of the bright spots in a lot of dark last year, so I like him a lot. I think he's a very, very good defensive tackle, good to hold on to. As far as signed players go, David Moore, a depth piece, of course, and then Nick Scott, a solid depth piece as well. And then let's go to the big two, the offensive tackle at Yosua Nijman and Jadeveon Clowney. So Yosua Nijman. Dan Morgan, very important. This January, he goes, what do we need to focus on first? And what we need to focus on first is O-line. We need to protect Bryce. A protected quarterback is a good quarterback that can bring good success. So that's what he did. He addressed offensive line a ton, and is still addressing it. So I think this is good. I think this is a good pickup. Jadeveon Clowney. I love the pickup. So with, Brian Burns having departed, we obviously needed to bolster our linebacker room, and we still do. But this is a great first step. Even at 31, Jadeveon Clowney's really, really producing good work, and I think he's going to work very well with us. He really wants to play here, and it's great. I'm very happy. As far as departures, a couple of cornerbacks, sad to see, but we still have the main two, which are important. So, kind of sad to see Cameron Gruger-Hill go as well. I liked Cameron Gruger-Hill. I think he was a solid depth piece linebacker. Defensive end, Deshaun Williams. Also kind of sad to see him go, but it's all right. I think the one that hits me the hardest, though, is wide receiver Laviska Shenault. So we do have like a twitchy wide receiver running back return guy in Emir Smith-Marset now. So when we've got a younger, more, I guess, healthier, I should say, athlete. But I liked Chenault. I thought he was cool. I thought his work was cool. I thought a lot of what he did was cool. But it's okay. It's whatever. Sad to see him go, but we found his replacement, and no hard feelings. So, what are your thoughts on this, Vegas?
Well, the big one for me here is Jadeveon Clowney. I really, really, really like this pickup for you all. And I actually remember back when we did our Armchair GM video for the Panthers, we actually ourselves picked up Jadeveon, kind of expecting it not to happen, hoping it would, and it ended up happening. So, overall, I've liked the work that Dan Morgan has done. You look at departures, Laviska Shenault, Gruger-Hill, Griffin Henderson, these departures they're not necessarily big names, but they're not small names either. Laviska Shenault definitely hurts. I understand why they can't keep him, especially in a wide receiver room that quite frankly desperately need some updates, and it's like you said before, having him and Emir Smith-Marset felt a bit redundant, and Cameron Gruger-Hill, he put in some good games, especially given how injured your defense got this year, So I think Minnesota's going to get a solid player in him. A little sad to see him go, but hopefully, you'll be able to come out with an even better defense than you did last year. Again, Jadeveon Clowney, great move. I also love Joshua Nisman. I love that. I love the Derek Brown re-signing. Big fan of that. That extension, huge. I also like bringing back Sam Franklin. I think he's a solid player for y'all. So overall, I like the work that's been done here. and I can't blame. I like a lot of the players who were departures here, but I can't blame Dan Morgan for not being aggressive with them at the end of the day. A team that only wins 2 games kind of needs to be broken down a bit. So, you know,
Completely agree.
it is what it is. But overall, I think that Carolina's done a good job in free agency, about as well as you can, given their situation. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the draft. T-Bone, what are your thoughts for the Carolina Panthers in the upcoming draft?
So the three big things that I think we need to address is some secondary, wide receiver, and linebacker, specifically cornerback. Then the secondary. So let's go over that. Let's go over cornerbacks first. Who I want. As this is very optimistic, but let's say so. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think both are very, very solid cornerbacks. Seeing some of what they do, I like what they do. It's good. It's really good. Um, I'm fine. What I'm fine with, Chris Abrams Drain and Aeneas Rakestraw Jr. Both of those as well. I think they also kind of built good. I like I like what they have to do. The two quarterbacks that I'm not really high on, TJ Tampa and Max Melton. They're really not what I want. What I think would be a solid fit. So, but we'll see. Those are the two that I really. Those are the only what I really just not really interested in. As far as linebackers go, got three linebackers that I would want: Peyton Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I want at least one of those. I think those would be because we do need to address some of the linebacking room. Having Jadeveon Clowney is excellent, but we can't just leave him. We can't leave a 31-year-old to pick up the slack. We need rookies to develop under him and to really be a good duo. So I think Peyton Wilson, Edgerrin Cooper, or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Any one of those could work well. As far as fine with, I think Junior Colson. I guess I'm a little low on Junior Colson. That's just not my thing, but still, I'm absolutely fine with Junior Colson. Only guy I'm really not cool with, Tommy Eichenberg, is just not really what I'm looking for. But who knows? Now let's address wide receivers. A lot of good wide receivers coming out of this draft. A lot of them. Good thing too, because we need some. Who I want at a look: Brian Thomas Jr., Troy Franklin, and Lad McConkey. I think those would be very, very good to pair up with, pair up with the offense we have right now. I think it'd be very good. Any one of those three. And then fine with, I'm fine with Xavier Worthy. I mean, I think there's something to be said. Speed. Be weary of just speed. Don't just look at speed. But I have seen some of what Xavier Worthy does, and it's good. It's good. Same with Keon Coleman. I like Keon Coleman. Not my first choice, but I'm like, okay, this is cool. I'm cool with this. So yeah, I mean that's what I've got. So what are your thoughts, Vegas?
Well, you're looking at, 2 second-round picks and early in the second round. I mean, you've got 33 and you've got 39 from the Giants, courtesy of the Brian Burns trade. And so, you've definitely got some options here. And I also tend to agree with kind of your idea of, hey, we got to draft some of these guys. Now, what I'm going to tell you right now is Cooper DeJean and Kool-Aid McKinstry will be drafted in the first round. I would be very surprised if either of them fell to you, especially DeJean. I'd be amazed if he fell all the way down to 33, if I'm being completely honest. So, I definitely like both of those guys a lot, but I don't think it's realistic to expect them to be available. And honestly, I would wait until the third round to address the corner position anyway. What I would do if I were you all is at pick 33, I would take Peyton Wilson. I think Peyton Wilson would fit in with the Carolina Panthers perfectly. I like his attitude. I like his ability. I really feel like he could become the next Luke Kuechly for you all. And I think he is the embodiment of keep pounding. So, that's what I would do. And then with the 39th pick, I would draft whatever wide receiver you feel most comfortable with. McConkey, I don't think falls that far. Franklin, maybe. Worthy and Coleman, it'll be interesting to see if they fall that far. There's also, of course, Pearsall out of Florida, who you didn't really take a look at. I feel like you could have included a few more wide receivers on this list here. But, you definitely have options. Then again, that third round pick, I think corner probably is the way to go there. So you've definitely nailed your top 3 priorities here. Any ideas really, one, what sequence you would want to use, and then maybe any ideas of what positions you might want to address later in the draft, or how you might want the Carolina Panthers to strategize? How would you want them to attack this draft? Go, of course, starting in the second round and then going beyond.
Oh, God, you wanted a whole plan. Well, thinking about it, I would say probably most important would be linebacker and then wide receiver. And I think the reason of that is there are so many wide receivers. I didn't name them all, you're right. But there's so many wide receivers that I think that we can afford to take a wide receiver at pick 39. Meanwhile, linebacker might not be, there's not the linebackers, they're going to be a little bit lower. So, got to get it while we can. Get the certain linebacker that we want. I think I like Peyton Wilson a lot. And you know what? Let me real quick before I say something. You know what? DeJean or McKinstry may not make it. I'm being optimistic. I'm taking into account that maybe some GMs are stupid. Because there are stupid GMs.
There are also teams who have first-round picks who need cornerbacks, and Cooper DeJean and Kool-Aid McKinstry are both talented cornerbacks.
Kool-Aid on the Panthers, baby. But no, so probably second round address. I'd say address, definitely. Linebacker, then wide receiver, then probably corner. So in that order. And then after that, I would probably say, offensive lineman, because even though we still have, probably a more bolstered offensive line now, still, it's a peace of mind. It's kind of, I think picking up a piece would not be bad. Another piece, maybe a running back at some point. We do have, Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders, but still having maybe a depth piece of sorts, or having sort of maybe getting a guy to sort of learn behind Chuba. But I like Chuba as the starter, because he was able to, on a pass first, for the most part, offense, get 900 yards after not being running back one. So getting split carries for a little bit, and on a pass first offense, getting over 900 yards, I'm excited. Another one that we may have to look at, tight ends. We got Tommy Tremble, we got Ian Thomas, but that's obviously, Tommy Tremble's good. He was one of the people that got a lot of touchdowns from Bryce Young last year, but still, I think it's very important that we might address tight ends at some point in the draft later on. And then, I guess looking at defense after, of course, the linebackers and cornerbacks that I spoke about way later on in the draft. Defensive linemen. So I mean, getting Derek Brown and Shai Tuttle and Ashawn Robinson, those guys are nice to have, but obviously, peace of mind maybe getting one here or there. But really, the main three: linebacker, wide receiver, corner, and then probably after that, I would say tight end. And then after that, I think the world is our oyster. So that's sort of my take on this.
Yeah, I mean, y'all definitely have a lot of options and plenty of needs to address, you know? And it'll be interesting to see what Carolina does. So far, Dan Morgan has shown me that he knows what he's doing, and I have a lot of confidence in their ability to make good decisions this draft, you know, and best of luck to you with it. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
No, sir. Best of luck to you as well.
Alrighty then, please be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. We would love to hear what you all have to say. And that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all so very much for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button. Please be sure to subscribe. And we will see you all in the next video.